Hey everyone, this is Lukas Schwekendiek, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about the comfort zone. Specifically, exiting the comfort zone and the main point to doing that. Many people think that exiting the comfort zone means to doing something extreme, like to doing something completely outside of the things that you normally do, and that is to get you some different experiences in life, to see how other things maybe work for you, to make you more courageous, things like that. But I don't want to say that's an overhauled idea or a bad idea, but it's just one facet of it, maybe. Maybe that's the way to put it. Because most of the time, what exiting your comfort zone means just these little steps, these tiny steps outside of your normal rut. You take a new route to work, you order something you don't usually order, you try out a new food, a new hobby, maybe try out a new movie or a new show on Netflix. It doesn't have to be anything big, but just something small enough that it loosens your life up a little bit. It loosens up this day to day routine. The problem is that most of us create a comfort zone around our lives, or basically, our lives are comfort zones. And we do go to the same job, we'll take the same route, eat the same things, do the same activities day after day after day. Nothing changes. And the problem with that is that we get stuck in this feeling of being in a rut. Nothing matters, nothing grows, nothing improves, nothing changes. It's just the same. Every day is the same. And if that happens too often, most people will start to sink into themselves. They start to not like what they do. They start to feel like life is not progressing because nothing new is happening. They know this. It's like you're playing the same video game over and over and over again, or you're watching the same movie over and over and over and over and over again on repeat. No matter how often, like if you had to watch the same movie every single day for the next 20 years, that would be a horrific experience. And that's how many people live their lives, and that's why exiting the comfort zone is so important. Because when you exit your comfort zone, you loosen that up a little bit. The movie takes a slightly different direction. Instead of doing the same things, the main character in the movie takes a different route to work, and suddenly that ends up with completely different things happening throughout the entire movie. We have all currently created a life that's built around our comfort. The friends, the things we do, everything that's a part of our lives is essentially our comfort zone. Many psychologists and therapists would even say the stresses that you have, the stories, even if they're negative, that you tell yourself, the things that you hate, all of these are also part of your comfort zone. Because it's the stuff that you know, it's the familiar things. It doesn't have to be good things, right? It doesn't actually have to be comfortable things. But it has to be things that you're used to. And we want to loosen that up a little bit. And you loosen that up with the tiny things that you do. At least that's the start. I forget how many choices we make a day, but it's in the thousands of choices that we make every single day. And with that being said, if you make 1,000 similar choices as the day before, of course you're going to be bored. Of course life is not going to seem exciting. Of course everything's going to feel the same. A few choices are not going to make much of a difference, but they are going to have a snowballing effect. If you take a different route to work, it is going to change the rest of your day. It is going to lead to other things. The same, and the big choices that you make different, the big different choices that you make, the choices that are big that you make different, whatever. The few larger choices that are made differently will obviously have a larger impact. But most of the time, that's a short, like a less lasting impact. The small choices, however, make a consistent impact over a long period of time. If you, for instance, decide to smoke a cigarette every single day, that's going to have a lasting impact. The same way if you decide to drink one extra glass of water a day, or if you decide to eat one apple a day. Right? All of these things make tiny but gigantic differences. And it's the same thing with the comfort zone. If you get into the habit of doing something new every single day, taking a new route to work, eating a new food, watching a new movie, whatever, right? Doing the things that you're already doing just in a new way, that allows you to open yourself up to opportunities that are already all around you that you're just not seeing. And that pulls apart that comfort zone a little bit. It expands the boundaries. And when that happens, you'll be more likely to also do these big opportunities that present itself in front of you all the time. And take those into account and use those and make the best you can out of those things. But for that, you have to allow yourself to open yourself up a little bit, to try some new things. And that's what leaving the comfort zone means. It doesn't mean that if you're afraid of heights, you should go skydiving. It just means that if you're stuck where you are at, maybe try one new thing today. Just a tiny thing. You don't even have to change anything. If you're normally playing video games, then maybe play a different one today. Or maybe play a different character in the one you play. If you were normally watching movies, maybe watch a slightly different movie. Maybe one that was recommended to you a while ago. If you're going to eat dinner anyway, might as well try a different kind of food. Or maybe cook it a slightly different way, see what that's like. Whatever you feel comfortable with doing, but what's borderline uncomfortable. Right? We want to test those limits and expand that. Now, the more you do this, the more choices that you make, or the bigger of things that you change, the more alive you'll feel. Because it will facilitate change in your life. And that change will make you feel like you're progressing. Something different is happening. Something new, something unique. It's not just the same thing over and over again. There's movement in your life. And that makes you think, or that makes your mind believe as well, that the negative things, whatever they may be, that are currently in your life, can also be subject to change, can also move, can also be different tomorrow than they were today, more different tomorrow than they were today. When you're in your comfort zone, the biggest problem is that you think everything will remain the same. And while that's great for some things, it's awful for other things. But you never think you can change, or that things can change. Or that even if they do, they'll always revert back. And that's because you never tried leaving that comfort zone. Instead, you're grabbing more things to be part of your comfort zone. And that keeps you in the same cycles. You have to exit it just a little bit. And you can do that by breaking completely free, which is what most self-improvement experts and coaches and stuff tell you, by completely exiting your comfort zone and kind of breaking it wide open. And that does work, but that's scary. That's really terrifying, and for most people so uncomfortable that they usually then get in their head and don't end up doing anything. The other approach is to just squeeze it open just a tiny bit, just a little bit. Right? Just doing something slightly different. And then doing that every single day, doing that today and tomorrow, and maybe adding a second thing in 3 days, and then just snowballing it. Because eventually those things will become your comfort zone too, but it'll create movement. That's the key word here. Exiting your comfort zone should create movement, should create variety, should create a difference in your life. And that difference then opens you up to see the world a different way, to see your life a different way, to see opportunities, to be more open to change, and then you can use that change. Now, that's a different topic, whether or not you can use the change and how to do that, but at first you gotta open up. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that encourages you to try some different things today. Maybe just pick one thing that's on your schedule to do anyway, and do it at a different place or at a different time or in a slightly different way. And see if that maybe changes things a little bit for you. See if that opens you up a little bit. See if you maybe remember that. And then try to expand on that idea. And do a little bit more tomorrow, and then a little bit more the next day. Try it out. See if that doesn't get some passion going back in your life. See if that doesn't create a sense of adventure again, which you might have lost along the way, by living your day-to-day the same way every single day. I hope this helps some of you out. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you have any questions, please comment them below, and I'll see you in the next video.